Hey, what's going on, guys? Dropship Tyler here, and today I wanted to give you an update on how my Bonanza sales are going. I've done a little over $2,000 in sales, and I know you guys care more about the profit of everything rather than just the sales, but I wanted to tell you a little bit of background about my store, my expenses, and all of that. I've been running my store now since January 17th. So a little less than a month, but I still feel like I have a good gauge of how things are going and if I'm going to be profitable or not, which it's obvious that I am not. To understand how you could actually lose money selling on Bonanza, you have to understand the expenses that actually come with the platform. So there's 5 different membership packages you can choose from, all the way from a basic to a Titan Pro. And I chose to go with a $200 package, which was the Titan package. And it didn't give me the results that I was hoping for. Apparently each of these packages has different benefits where your items are gonna get more traffic and they're gonna be advertised in more places. Bonanza actually does all the marketing for you, but based on the broadcaster setting that you choose, it's gonna spend more on advertising to get traffic to your listings in different sources like Bing, Facebook ads, Google Shopping, etc. For that, I chose the 13% setting. I am just testing all of these things now, and I'm not really sure what the best setting is. I'm not an expert at Bonanza, so there is a learning curve that I need to figure out the best, most optimal strategy. So I had the $200 for the actual membership itself, the Titan membership, and then I had software to run my business. And so I decided to use SaleFreaks because of the fact I was comfortable with the software. I knew I could get a lot of products up quickly. It auto-ordered my products for me. It was just something that I was used to, and it's a good software overall for just any platform that it supports. The one thing about the software though, it is relatively expensive because of the fact that it does so much for you. So if you're not using it in a way, and this goes with all platforms it supports, if you're not doing everything you need to do to optimize what your listings or your processes, whatever, on those sites itself, then SaleFreaks is gonna cost you more money than it makes you. I mean, straight up. It's a very complicated software and you need to know what you're doing on these sites if you want to make money using it. That being said, SaleFreaks had a promotion going on where they were doing 75% off if you paid for a certain amount of items. So I was able to get a package for 20,000 listings that was $425. And I still had my auto order accounts and everything like that on there. So I had a couple Prime memberships that were still active. So, I paid $12, $13 for those. All in all, I would say the expenses were around $450 to $460 for that particular SaleFreaks account. Now, on that $2,000 of revenue, I actually only ended up doing around $100 of front-end profit, and then I got my 5% cashback on the back end, so it was a little over 100 for the front end. So altogether, it ended up being about $200 in profit. So my expenses were around $650, we'll say. So that's a $450 loss on my first month dropshipping on Bonanza. It's not something that I'm too excited about that I lost money my first month, but I do see some potential there if I do modify the way I'm doing my business. I still think it's possible to use SaleFreaks and make money with Bonanza. There's no question about that. I know people who are doing it. The biggest issue I have is the fact that it may take a few months to actually optimize your products, delete, replace, until you're at the point where you have enough good selling items that you're covering the cost of the Titan membership and your SaleFreaks fees. And that doesn't even include, if you're using a VA or anything like that to do your customer service. I did all my customer service myself because it wasn't that many orders. How would I suggest that you make money on Bonanza if you want to? Well, I would start by saying that you have to keep your expenses down to a minimum. And when I say that, I mean your virtual assistants, your software cost. Maybe don't start with the Titan membership. Try the other ones first, see how that goes. I also found that you need to have low margins on Bonanza, so you need to find a way to make money on the back end, whether it's using your 5% cashback card on Amazon, buying discounted gift cards for Walmart if you're sourcing from Walmart, making sure you're using the cashback sites properly properly, and really just, being tax exempt is a huge one also. Keeping your expenses down, making sure you're making the most out of your transactions, you're squeezing the most profit out of each sale. I feel like because of the lower margin, you're gonna rank higher in Google Shopping or wherever Bonanza is advertising that product. One thing I do want to point out is the fact that the Titan membership is a fixed cost, meaning that it's $200 no matter how many items you have, which means that the only variable cost you have is your software. So at that point, people are going to say, okay, well, if you were able to make back your $200 on 20,000 items, then why don't you just do everything manually and you can profit everything you make after that $200 is just straight profit, right? So you could just keep adding more and more and more items and your only expense is the $200 that we're talking about. Well, you're gonna need VAs at some point, right? So for me, I think it's interesting, and maybe we should test this right now actually at my computer. I wanna see how long it actually takes myself to order one product and fulfill one product from Bonanza. And then I'll do a little calculation here and show you guys the cost that you're saving by not having a VA fulfill the orders, or maybe I'm wrong and maybe a VA is cheaper versus having software that automatically orders the products for you, automatically uploads the products for you, making sure you're not selling things that are out of stock or having a price increase. So yeah, let's just go do that experiment real quick. All right, so I'm back. It took me 1 minute and 41 seconds or 42 seconds to fulfill the order. That was without using spot and paste or anything like that, just manually doing everything. So I'm pretty quick because I've been doing this for a long time now. I've been doing it for 2 years. Obviously, I don't fulfill my orders like that anymore. I use auto ordering and I use virtual assistants, but I still got it. 1:41 is not bad to fill a product manually, not using any spot and paste or any other tools like that. One thing I will say is I didn't take into account recording the profit and the sale into a spreadsheet. And also another part of finishing up the transaction is once the tracking is there, you need to upload the tracking. So now that I have this information, right, I'm just gonna say that a virtual assistant takes about 3 minutes to do an order. Sometimes they get sidetracked. We can't make our employees work efficiently all the time, but hopefully they do. Let's just say that they can get 20 orders done an hour. And let's use that number to do some analysis now to see what auto ordering costs look like versus manual ordering plus a repricing software look like on SaleFreaks, because there are two options. You can do auto ordering and pay for that plan, or you can actually do non-auto ordering, and the plan is a little bit cheaper, not much, but a little bit. And then I also want to show you guys another software as well and compare SaleFreaks and SKUGrid together, SKUGrid combined with a virtual assistant, of course, and actually see what is the better route to use when you're doing Bonanza. So let's go to my computer and I'll show you guys that in an Excel spreadsheet. All right, guys, so we have our spreadsheet set up and we are inside of my computer. We have a couple of assumptions here, and that is that the hourly rate is going to be paid $4 an hour. I know a lot of you say that that's probably more expensive than you pay, whatever. All right, but anyway, for this particular spreadsheet, we're going to be doing $4 an hour, and we're going to say that it takes them 3 minutes to fulfill the order, which means that they can get 20 orders done per hour, because 60 minutes obviously divided by 3 is 20. And then we have the virtual assistant cost per order. So that is going to be 20 cents. As you can see, it is just the $4 divided by the 20 orders. So now we have the SaleFreaks auto order software cost for 20,000 items, which is $425. And then we have the SaleFreaks non-auto order software cost, which is $340. Okay, so then what we wanted to actually figure out is how many orders do we actually need in order for this auto order software to be something that's going to actually save us money in the long run, or even in the short run. Just it's going to save us money in general. And what we figured out is by subtracting the $340 minus the $425, because essentially you're paying $85 to have the auto order software extra, right? So now we basically are just doing that. We're doing the $85 divided by the 20 cents. And as you can see, obviously it's not a dollar amount, but in order to actually make it worth it, so our break-even order number is $425. If you're doing over 425 orders, then it's actually better that you do not have a virtual assistant for a 20,000 item plan. So now, to prove this is the case, you can see that the total cost is the break even times the 20 cents, which obviously is the 85. We just did this. And now we're just going to add this on here just for you guys that want to see the math even more. So there you go. Total cost on this many orders, on 425 orders, is going to be $425 if you use a virtual assistant and the SaleFreaks non-auto order software. So that's going to be your break even. Now I want to see how we can actually reduce our software cost, and to see if it's worth it for us to look elsewhere for maybe Bonanza, and see if there's a cheaper software option out there. And this isn't me comparing that SaleFreaks is worse than SKUGrid, or SKUGrid is worse than SaleFreaks, whatever. I'm just looking at expenses and literally doing an analysis of which one is cheaper based on what I have seen on Bonanza thus far. So now we're going to go over to the SKUGrid tab, and you can see that we have the same assumptions here and the same software cost for SaleFreaks auto ordering, and then we have the SKUGrid software cost. The way we were able to get that SKUGrid software cost is we were looking at how many credits we would actually use. Because of the fact there's not as much traffic as Bonanza, we do not need to reprice the items as often. And so that's just my personal opinion. So I'm doing this where the items only reprice every 24 hours. And so for that, I only need $90 worth of credits a month. So now you can see the break-even order number gets even higher. We're going to have to be doing 1,675 orders a month for us to justify using the SaleFreaks auto order versus the SKUGrid software, which is $90. And I want to show you guys a real scenario now, because Bonanza, like I said, the traffic is bad. We have this metric called the sales conversion rate, and basically what that's going to be is it's going to be the number of items you have divided by, the number of sales you have divided by the number of items you have, which I think a 1% sales conversion rate is perfectly acceptable on Bonanza because of the low traffic. We're not talking about APO or anything right now, which is average profit per order. We're literally just talking about software cost and virtual assistant cost in this particular scenario. So we're analyzing cost. We're not analyzing how much money we're going to make or whatever from our sales or our revenue. We're just trying to reduce our cost. So let's say that you have this sales conversion rate. You're doing 200 orders a month divided by 20,000 items. You obviously can see that you have the 1% conversion rate. So now we are going to take these numbers, these assumptions that we have, and we're going to do a little analysis, and you can actually see how much the savings is by using virtual assistants and a software that only reprices once a day. So you have your same virtual assistant cost and you have your same SaleFreaks auto order cost. SKUGrid software cost is $90. Now, what we're going to do is this number here, this SKUGrid with VA ordering, as you can see, it is C3 times C2. So we're getting the 200 orders. Basically, it's the same as saying 200 orders times your virtual assistant cost per order, which is 20 cents. So 200 orders times 20 cents, which is $40. And then you have your SKUGrid software cost in there, which is $90. So total now we have a SKUGrid with VA ordering cost at $130. Granted, you're not going to find many VAs that just want to, be on your team if you're only going to pay them $40 a month. You need to have them maybe working on something else as well. I could see maybe moving one of my Amazon VAs and saying, hey, when you're not busy with Amazon, work on this. Or, hey, do this first and then work on Amazon. I couldn't see them accepting $40 a month, obviously, just to do ordering. So this scenario is a little interesting. But hypothetically speaking here, you're only paying them $40 a month and you're paying $130 or $90 to SKUGrid, so your total cost is $130. So now we do the 130 minus the Sale Freaks auto order cost. And as you can see, we have a savings of $295. So I hope that scenario helped you out a little bit, and seeing the analysis behind how you should actually look at these numbers and look at your expenses. Yes, I didn't talk about your average profit per order or anything like that. As I mentioned on my computer, I'm only going over expenses, and I'm only showing you how to get your expenses down, because I think that's probably one of the most important things when you're first starting a platform, is easing your way into it, not losing money or too much money, I guess, that's gonna hurt you, and really getting experience so that you can start scaling your store. Just to reiterate, I don't think Sale Freaks is a bad option for Bonanza, but I think if you're a beginner and you wanna get into it and you want to really lower your costs, like I just mentioned, you could even be doing it manually yourself. So you don't have to have a virtual assistant, and you could just spend the $90 a month plus your Titan membership or whatever. And you could find a way to be profitable by delisting and adding items. One of the big benefits of having a program like Sale Freaks, though, is the fact that it does automatically list products for you. You can delist in bulk, you can add items in bulk, you can use the locator and scan items and upload them to Bonanza quickly. So you're able to make a lot of changes to your store quickly, and you can do that too if you are good at Excel and you just are good at working in bulk with a lot of listings at once using programs. And SKUGrid does have something that you can use to list items as well, but they're both good options depending on what you want out of this. You can do bulk uploads onto Bonanza from SKUGrid, but they're not going to be as efficient as Sale Freaks. That's just one of the downsides of it. So it's not like we're really comparing apples to apples, just as a full disclaimer. Yes, they sort of do the same things, but they do them completely differently, and one's more efficient than the other at some things and vice versa. So they both have their downsides. But again, this is literally just talking about expenses and showing you guys how to actually analyze expenses yourself. I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you have any comments, feel free to leave those comments in the comment section. And also, if you don't mind clicking like before you leave this video, I'd appreciate that. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, I highly recommend you subscribe. I put out lots of content about dropshipping and e-commerce. I talk a lot about dropshipping and e-commerce, and I also just talk about my journey as an online entrepreneur, and hopefully some of the things that, I experience that I talk about can help you too in your journey or whatever you're trying to do. Thanks for watching, guys.